Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. So we are back at Surviving Pertam, the Wastelands. I guess we can probably call this more or less a DIY video as we are building a home. Alright, so let's take a look and see what we've done so far with the home building. Alright, so let's talk about the house building and the experience so far. It's been going okay. Unfortunately, I didn't have too much time to kind of work on it, so I tried to commit as long as I could, so about 2 hours building this, and of course run into some issues here and there, but you'll see that all in the time lapse after we talk about what we've done so far. So first things first is we pretty much welded up all the flooring. And right now it's a concrete skin right now. We'll probably change that because I'm not a big fan of these little cracks here. As you'll see, they're like kind of all over the place. Not ideal for floor in that sense, and that kind of material. Kind of looks kind of weird. I mean, we've already seen the kitchen area with the vending machine and the sinks and the counters and the bar. And of course I added this section here, which is like kind of like a dining table. So it fits, how many does it fit here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I don't have 10 friends that have space engineers, but any collaboration in the future, we have space for everybody, or at least up to 9 more people. But yeah, so the last time we touched base on this, we were looking at the windows and how they were set up. So I did keep it this way with the windows, but the biggest difference is that I added a full square window behind it. That way it looks a little bit better than having like a big gap. So it's kind of going to look like this. So here you have those kind of windows here, the viewports, and I put in like a 3x3 window outside of it, so that way, you know, you can still see kind of through it, but it is going to look a little weird. But they're half blocks, so it's hard to kind of maintain a full block, half block kind of situation or relationship here. So there's like a 3x3 pane of window here, the viewports, and behind it also is like the double pane windows, and there's like a 2x3 window here above it. So once you weld it up, it's gonna pretty much look like the one in the back. So we're gonna go back here, and it should look like this here. So you have like the viewport, which is a half block, and then the outside of it is a window pane that's kind of being housed by this LCD corner here, so that it kind of holds it up that way. I mean, there probably is a better way of doing it, but I'm just gonna leave it as this because unfortunately I did also forget that what's gonna happen really is we're gonna have another layer on the outside, so we can keep the interior color one color and the exterior a different color. So we're gonna have to kind of figure that one out later on, but that was kind of the idea of how to make the window setup there. Or if you have a better suggestion, feel free to leave a comment down below. I know there's a comment to look into a mod or so, which I will do that sooner or later for designing a home. But using what we can have, or what we have through DLCs and vanilla space engineers, this is pretty much the build so far. The window setup was a good idea. The only thing I forgot is that we're gonna do double pane walls, so we're gonna have to fix that up in a little bit. Other than that, we did our nice little theater room or a living room section. So you'll see here a big 5x3 LCD screen with some speakers, a little bit shorted because I did destroy this whole wall using my welder, and you may or may not see that in the time lapse. It's kind of blocked off. Wasn't expecting to weld that much and actually destroy more than half the wall. So everything here, that scaffolding, that was kind of broken by the welder system behind the home. So it also looked like it broke the speaker as well. But the speakers here, we have the TV or LCD screen. Right now it's cycling some pictures. Hopefully maybe I could put some kind of video there somehow. Think about it, I'll look into that. It'll be interesting to just watch anything off of there. But right now it's just cycling every 5 seconds a few of the pictures that are in the Space Engineer stock LCD screens. So of course I tried to design it with a little bit of the carbon fiber to look like speakers. So we have that there, and some plants here just not welded up. A lot of it's currently not welded up because I'm trying to find the best way to do it, and unfortunately the big old welding machine that I have back there. Works pretty well floors, but walls not so much. And plus, I gotta be really careful using this because it does destroy a lot of things. So here's the wreckage of when I was trying to weld this up and accidentally pushed it too far or turned it too fast and kind of damaged everything back there. So that's the biggest pain point I have in terms of using a welding machine there. But it's good for the floor because it didn't take too long to do that. But I gotta figure out how to weld everything else here because I do have just the, I think this is the elite, no, the proficient welder, which I need a better one, which I don't have the mats for. So that's the kitchen, living room. I'm still working on this kind of med bay office area, or maybe a research station where we have our medical room here. We have this lab equipment. We have some crates here for storage if we wanted to. And of course we have our medical station here. I mean, none of this really works. It's just decorative blocks. It'd be cool if you can actually use them. But this is just, you know, a little office space that I wanted to do here. Initially I wanted to do like an office space with computers and yeah, like a computer station and things like that, but kind of ran out of room. And of course we still have a second floor to kind of fill that up too. So this is pretty much storage and easy access for our medical room, to be honest. Right next to it is the bathroom. So the bathroom, again, not welded up. We have a shower here, so that's the shower station or shower. We have the open toilet seat here instead of using the ones that are closed. And there's a bit of a window here, so when you sit on it, your back should be turned against the window. And if you're forward, you're looking through the window. Unfortunately, it looks kind of too close to the window in some ways. So I might change that in the future, or maybe before I weld these up. I don't know. I'm just trying to think about the design and how to do it. It's not the most practical with having a window above a toilet seat, but we'll see what it looks like when I do weld it up. And other than that, we have some armory here, lockers, you know, kind of storage spaces. So when you go shower and things like that. So of course none of that's gonna happen. Like it's not gonna strip down naked just to get in the shower. So these are just decorations as well. I left some kind of little hallway here. I mean, it just had to leave this hole here because of the wall situation for the bathroom. So I just left it open. It's just a little cubby hole underneath the stairs here. We do need to put something here to kind of cover it, but I just left it as that for now. But it should be okay in that sense. And the next room I made is this thing here. So this is kind of the viewpoint room, or maybe a sun room, I think it's called. I'm not that great at knowing all areas of a room, or a house. This is just, you know, things I'm building out of, you know, just for fun and just random ideas here and there. So this here is a 3x3 big pane window, and that's where we're pretty much have that nice little viewpoint here of the mountain across, and also kind of the target area where we want to go and build our bridge. So you have like the seats, plants, and somewhat of like a table. I just used the control table here, or whatever this thing's called, console block here, as like a coffee table-ish thing. A little too tall, but I mean, it still looks pretty decent over there. And the best thing I'm kind of proud of and needs to be extended to the top and probably beat back a little bit is the fireplace. So this here, it's a little fireplace with supposedly like a little picture above it. But yeah, so this is a fireplace that's gonna have a bit of a hole in the top here. But eventually I'll probably just cover it with the catwalk or something like that. So if we do need to airtight the whole place, we have that going. And of course, we could kind of do a hatch lock on top if we had to. But yeah, this is kind of our fireplace. That's something I wanted to try out and build. We did a fireplace once before in our Unwanted Engineers series. You've probably seen it on probably the very first episode as one of those cutscenes. There's a bit of a fireplace there, and it's just pretty much broken items thrown underneath into an area that looks like logs. So this one is a little different, and this one is actually made out of the exhaust. So if you see here, it's a bit of an exhaust system. It's a small grid exhaust system that is plugged into a rotor system with a small head. And of course, I just put in a small fire to constantly light up. And that's what this little fire is, or fireplace is, which didn't take too long to make, obviously, but it's a pretty nifty idea that I had in mind to just give it a try and see how it looks. And I think it looks pretty good. I did wall off the section here. In some ways, I feel like I should have just left it all open, but you definitely need some walls in a house, I would assume, to make things flow a little better. But that's the first floor. The second floor, however, is supposed to be the bedroom area, probably some more offices and things like that. But it seems like I left a lot of room for anything or additional rooms. I'm not sure what to put up here, but eventually, once I weld everything up, I'll work on the second floor and kind of think about what to do with this. I definitely do want to put a few bedrooms here. I prefer not to climb up to grab stuff. That's why I kind of didn't want to do a second floor, but it kind of makes sense to do a second floor too. And of course, we want to keep the ceilings high, so that's why it's so high up. So the second floor, maybe we could throw in like cargo. We can maybe another office or something like that. So things I don't necessarily need super access to or close proximity access to, I'll probably put up here and then find a way to link it downstairs if I do need to get to it. So like say cargo, I am thinking about making a cargo facility, but if I had to link it all here, maybe I'll throw a cargo up here, but have a small cargo on the bottom so I can always grab stuff from down here, or maybe like a connector or something like that. So that's pretty much what I've got done so far in the home. There's a lot of welding, and of course the best way to do that is going to be this welding machine or welding crane, and I gotta be careful with it to not kind of destroy anything. So I may need to kind of upgrade this thing a little bit. And of course, one of the best things or funniest things that I read in a comment is why are you using the connector tubes when you could use a piston? And honestly, I don't know why I didn't even think about it. I could have just used 1 or 2 pistons to get this extension. So why not get that done now, basically? So the first things first I need to do is kind of bring this over to the cargo containers, because we need some mats. We have a decent amount here. It's just not too much. And just want to bring it over there, lock in, so we can grab a little bit more stuff. But for now, what I want to do is just kind of see if I can edit this out a little bit better, and pretty much put in that piston or 1 or 2 pistons on the welding arm. I think the main reason I only use the connector tubes is maybe because of weight, but it shouldn't be that significant of weight if I'm adding probably 1 or 2 pistons by the welding arm itself. And having 1 welding arm is good enough for the purpose of welding stuff. It's a little slow, but it's a little safer too, because even with 1 welding arm, I've been destroying my own base or home a lot. So we just gotta be really careful about that. But it's going good so far. I did hand weld a lot of the stuff myself instead, but I think the walls I definitely gonna have to use this thing to help out with. And luckily I made this thing so it's fairly easy to kind of just connect onto this connector here. Alright, so we're locked in, and what I want to do is actually bring this arm this way really quick. We don't do too fast and break anything. That's a little close. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so we're going to bring this guy down up to here. That's fine. I have to build something upwards. So it seems like almost every episode we are pretty much upgrading this welding crane a lot. You know what? I'm going to cue in the time lapse of the build of the home so far and continue to work on this. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, so pretty much all set. Put 2 pistons on that hinge and welder, and it works out okay. It's not terrible. And maybe because of the weight, one of the main reasons why I didn't put pistons or think about putting piston is when I do this, it kind of drops that hinge. So even if I were to kind of increase the torque a bit more, which I actually put it to whatever that is, I think if we maxed it out, it should be okay, but I'm not sure. It still kind of wobbles a little bit and kind of just drops it. So that's the weird part. I mean, the best thing to do is probably lock it before I move it up and down, based on the base arm of the crane. But if I kept on doing this, as you see, it just tends to fall on its own for whatever reasons. I mean, it's not bad, but it's a little annoying, especially if I'm doing some kind of precise welding, and if I do move this and it drops a bit, it's gonna break something for sure. Right, so what I did is kind of edit the script so my C in space will increase these 2 pistons. So now we have a little bit more precise welding and further welding than before. So we can go pretty far back. And again, if we extend it all the way like this and we bring it down, it tilts down a little bit like that, so it's a little scary in some ways. So it might be a good idea to not extend it first when I do this. But yeah, that's the biggest problem I'm experiencing if I were to put a piston, because they're a little heavy in some ways. Can I put shared inertia? That's something I don't really think about too much, putting shared inertia with welders. So this might work then. Hopefully that does resolve the issue. So let's just bring this up a bit. And if we were to drop this down, it still kind of does it. Not as much as before. So that may have been the best idea for now. It's a little hard. Kind of steer it up though. Looks like we may have to increase the speed of that out. Even if I did increase the speed, I don't know if that's going to change anything. So let's try that really quick. So I increased it by a little bit, not too much, 0.5, and it's a little bit better. It's still not that great, but if I bring that down, yeah, it still flops down a little bit, so that's not ideal, but it should be okay for the most part. So let's just bring this guy back this way and up. And we should be able to connect into that and start loading up some of my cargo containers here. So let's see here. What do we need? We do need a bunch of stuff. So let's just grab from our main cargo system here. We'll just throw these in there because I don't need that. And we'll throw everything in a small container here. The 2 that's on the top of the welding arm or welding crane. So we could probably put, how much can we put here? Wow, we could put 4,000 steel plates here. What else do we need? We need a bunch of construction components, so we can put like 1,000 or so, or 2,000 of them. We put 2,000 interior plates, and I think that should be okay for the most part. I mean, we have a bunch of stuff here too that I've been loading up here and there. Nothing in the connectors, right? Oh, no, there's some in the connectors, so we gotta move these as well. So we kind of have to move them all into a small cargo container. Looks like we're probably running out of space to do that too. Actually, no, we're perfect. We're good. That's awesome. So we just need to get rid of just the scrap metal there. So we're pretty filled up on this thing, on this guy. So that isn't too bad. If we're locked in, we can unpark ourselves and kind of get out of here. Hopefully we don't fall in a little... Oh, that's a little dangerous. But luckily I put it with 4 wheels, so now that works a little bit better coming down this little ramp system I made. The previous times it was... Why does that one look flat over there? It looks like the further I'm out, it looks like a flat tire for some reason. So look, you see the little graphic error here, or issues? Or glitches, I think. It doesn't show the whole thing, it just shows like a treadless tire. It's kind of weird. Anyways, yeah, with 3 wheels, I usually kind of tilt back a little bit. It scares me a bit because it feels like it's going to tilt over. With 4 wheels, this machine has been a lot better. And I'm actually just noticing that one of my turbines are not exactly working right now. Not sure why. I probably dinged it with this crane arm, to be honest. Who knows? That usually would probably be the case, though. Oh well, so we'll probably fix that later down the line. But we have enough power. We're actually running off of 2 batteries actually. One is that merged battery there, which I need to remove eventually. Actually, what I've been trying to do is drain it, and it doesn't want to drain quick enough, or fast at all. So it's because we're not using too much energy right now anyway. So I've been trying to discharge that so I can charge up this battery, and it looks like that's charged up. That's probably why I can't really discharge all those batteries there, because this needs to move, and I could probably just move this instead of destroying it. I kind of don't want to destroy it because I don't really have too much materials or resources to make a lot of power cells. So that's like one of the biggest problems I'm having. And eventually building this home, I'm gonna run out of stuff too. So it's gonna be kind of bad eventually. So yeah, so we can kind of weld this guy up. Probably like this, where we can extend the piston. So now we definitely have more ways and more extension for this whole entire operation with this welding arm, which is a lot faster than actually welding by hand, as you see here. And that's only because I'm using the script where I can control the hinges, pistons, and even rotors, so that I can easily use our keyboard and mouse to do this instead of individually moving each and every part as you would in vanilla Space Engineers without a script. So again, always one of my favorite scripts, and it makes life easier, especially to do something like this. But of course, it is also dangerous if I speed it up too much or go too fast. I am likely going to break something along the way. And pretty much like my TV section there, pretty much broke the whole back piece of it, so there's always that. The only problem that I didn't mention earlier as well is that using this skin, which is cool, the wooden piece skin here, I like the skin a lot, especially for building a house for interior purposes. The only problem I have, for whatever reason, maybe there's a resolution for it, is this. This is horizontal, and this is vertical. So no matter how I do this with the skin, so if I go to the wood armor and choose a color, right? So right now, looking at it in this like placement, it shows it's going to be horizontal. But once I place it down and then weld it up, let me show you for an example if you haven't seen this at all. So you see here, it's showing it's horizontal, this is vertical, right? So if I do horizontal, weld it up, it's vertical. I think it's based on the size of the cube itself or the block itself. So if it's facing this way, it's going to be horizontal. If it's facing that way, it's going to be vertical. So that's the weirdest thing. So actually, let me try one thing I'm thinking. Because I'm just looking at it now. And if I place it here, that's vertical. But when I weld it, it's horizontal. So what if I weld it vertical? Is it going to be horizontal? No. So it's definitely based on placement. So I'm assuming the sidewall here, yeah, this is horizontal and this is vertical. So anytime you're facing it this way, it's going to be horizontal. Anytime you're facing this way, it's going to be vertical. So that kind of sucks. So I may have to change the skin and color of the wall when we're looking at it this way, but probably keep it when it's facing this way. So that's kind of weird, but it is kind of seems to be the situation. So even all this here, same thing. This is all vertical planks and these are all horizontal planks. So that's a weird thing. So I definitely do want to fix that because of the way it's built or the way it's designed. Probably want to change that out. Maybe keep some of it and change some of them out too. It's hard to say right now, but I'll try my best to get a good, decent design here. And of course, the house is fairly basic, to be honest. I was actually thinking of making something more modern and crazier, but I didn't have a really good idea in mind, so I was just building as we go, as I normally do, which is, you know, sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing, because it doesn't really turn out the way I kind of imagined it. But it's not like I had a blueprint per se. I just had some ideas and I just want to put them together, and that's what came out of it. Not the best looking house in the world, but it's going to be usable soon. Once I get all the walls kind of welded up and put in here, we'll make it airtight, so when there's a big storm, we got somewhere to hide and keep our oxygen up. And of course we can do that by using oxygen tanks, depressurizing the O2, not the O2, the air vents to the other way. And then if we really needed to, we're gonna find some ice along the way. And finding ice is probably not gonna be the easiest thing to find, but is usually found under what they call oasis areas, such as like the green trees and green grasses. I don't believe you can find them in these dry grassy areas, but I can always check that out sooner or later with a drill if I have it on me. But yeah, this welding system is working nicely because as you see here, I can weld inside the office and I believe the bathroom there without really looking at it. So that's the good thing about this new crane system with the piston. So thank you so much in the comment section for reminding me that I can use a piston instead of a connector. Not connector, the connecting tubes for this welding system here. It looks like I'm a little bit far on that one, so I'm gonna have to bring this up and then bring it down and hopefully I don't break anything. Nope, looks like I need to bring it down some more. So I'm pretty sure I will break something eventually, but I'll try my best not to do that immediately or really quickly. So looks like I only reached there. So I definitely need to move this welding crane a little bit more so I can weld up more stuff or on that side. But you know what? I'm not going to bore you with all this welding. I mean, some people do enjoy it, which I appreciate as well. But instead of, keeping this up, I think what I'm going to do is kind of call it a day and continue to build a home very soon. So again, it's a little unfortunate I didn't have too much time to kind of finish up the home, but I did try to commit at least 2 to 3 hours to really, get started and get it all done. So don't really care to extend episodes or videos of a series, but unfortunately I had to do it for this time around. So hopefully I have more time over the weekend and I'll continue to work on the house, and hopefully it will just be a part 2 of building a house and not extended parts to it. Yeah, and I forgot to mention, I did want to try a little bit of random stuff here and there. So as you saw, we had the fireplace. That's kind of an idea I just had in mind, just to make a simple fireplace. And I actually wanted to make some kind of reclining seat for this big old TV or theater system. So I was going to put like a hinge on the bottom to be able to go up and down a little bit, or, recline, I should say, not really up and down, just to recline a little bit, but kind of scratched the idea. So it's not going to look too great on the bottom per se, or the floor. So I gotta rethink that out, and I want to do other stuff too. But of course, if I'm missing anything that you guys can think of, something cool to place around in a house or a space engineer's house, you can say, that would be pretty cool to take a look and try out as well. So feel free to, of course, leave a comment down below. Alright, so today is a little bit of a shorter video for you guys today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the time lapse and the house build so far. Alright, so if you made it to the end of the video, please hit that thumbs up, like the video, consider subscribing to the channel, drop a comment down below, and of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.